These are the pictures you've seen of January 6th. They're familiar because they've been playing on a loop on every media outlet in America for the last 2 years.
Those are my favorite images, and clearly the most accurate because they exclude the 39,999 hours of other footage that you haven't seen because we don't want you to. But now, unfortunately, all that footage has been made public, which kind of makes it look like we've been lying to you. But here at We Lie to You News, we wouldn't do that. But nonetheless, buckle up for a full report on the shocking footage of January 6th that's just been released while we do our best to cover our tracks. Good evening, and please believe us, we're being honest this time. Promise. In this footage, you can see people ruthlessly and violently insurrecting their way into the Capitol as they're slowly walking past police officers who aren't trying to stop them. Since January 6th, the footage of the deadly insurrection that took down the Twin Towers, warmed our globe, and turned Michael Jackson white has been selectively released to exclude 39,999 hours of footage that we didn't want you to see so you could have the most accurate picture that keeps our narrative alive. But the new Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, has just released the entire archive of 40,000 hours of footage from the Capitol on January 6th to Tucker Carlson. Ever hear of him? So tonight, we're gonna show you some of that shocking footage that we didn't want you to see. Footage that allegedly demolishes our claim that it was an insurrection. But before we do, a warning about Tucker Carlson, whose voice you'll hear in some of this footage. Tucker Carlson is not to be trusted. His deceptive agenda of wanting you to know what happened is clearly motivated by a conflict of interest. He's obviously funded by the Truth Industrial Complex. And the compilation of footage you're about to see is certainly tainted by this ulterior motive. In speaking about the conspiracy realities that the newly released January 6th footage uncovers, here's what far-right extremity Tucker Carlson had to say.
By controlling the images you were allowed to view from January 6th, they controlled how the public understood that day. They could lie about what happened, and you would never know the difference. Those lies had a purpose. They created a pretext for a federal crackdown on opponents of the Uniparty in Washington.
And he says that as if there's something wrong with that. To reiterate how violent the protests were, and please cover your children's eyes if they're watching right now, this new piece of footage shows a man picking up a fallen sign. Tidying up has no place in a democracy and should carry a minimum of a 10-year prison sentence. Truly unnerving, and hard to imagine that something like this could happen in a first world country that we're trying to destroy. And because telling a big enough lie frequently enough will make it believed, let us remind you what President Trump's role in January 6th was.
He incited a deadly insurrection.
That's right, Don Lemon. Thank you for taking the time out from telling women they're too old and out of their prime to enlighten us. What do you think, Nance?
Incited a deadly insurrection.
Always a pleasure to hear from you, Nancy. And for the good of the whole, we wish you'd go back to covering your face. What do you think, Joe?
Violent, deadly insurrection on the Capitol 9 months ago. It was about white supremacy, in my view.
Thank you for the intellectual insight, Joe. If there's someone who knows how to recognize white supremacy, it'd be a guy who was mentored by a KKK leader. It's unanimous by the powers over you that be that President Trump incited violence on January 6th. So here's the footage of President Trump inciting said violence on January 6th. Take a look.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
Peacefully make your voices heard? That sounds like an aggressive military strategy. Terrifying to just listen to. Now, when piecing all the pieces of the puzzle together and looking at the misleading full picture, people baselessly claim there was an orchestrated effort to frame January 6th to look far worse than it was for political reasons.
Our office wanted to ensure that there was shock and awe, that we could charge as many people as possible.
Don't Don't show that again. Accordingly, there's baseless claims that federal agents in the crowd that day acting as provocateurs were in the crowd that day acting as provocateurs, encouraging the crowd to breach the Capitol. Well, nothing could be further from the truth.
We need to go into the Capitol.
Would you quit playing that footage? Hey, you didn't see what you just saw, and I'm not even gaslighting you right now. Because if what you just saw actually happened, there would be more evidence substantiating that reality.
His text messages showed that at 2:12 p.m., he boasted to his nephew that he had, quote, orchestrated the protests at the Capitol. He admitted he helped get people there. Yet, curiously, congressional Democrats consider Ray Epps an ally.
Moving along, it's important to remember the QAnon shaman, how he led his crew of Viking supremacists into the Capitol, pillaging all the townspeople along the way. Take a look.
We counted at least 9 officers who were within touching distance of unarmed Jacob Chansley. Not one of them even tried to slow him down.
I don't think that's the footage. That's weird. They're just letting him in. I don't understand. The police just letting him in is an odd way of trying to stop him. So, like, they were trying to open locked doors for him to keep him out? I don't understand. Wow, take a look at that again. He's criminally evading all those police officers desperately trying to stop him because they were definitely trying to stop him from being escorted by police officers throughout the Capitol or something. There's nothing else on that, is there?
Chansley understood that Capitol Police were his allies. Video shows him giving thanks for them in a prayer on the floor of the Senate. Watch.
Thank you, Heavenly Father, for giving the inspiration needed to these police officers to allow us into the building.
Okay, let me tell you what you just saw so it can be a more accurate depiction of what you think. The QAnon shaman was prayerfully thanking the police for allowing him in because they tried to stop him. In conclusion, the 40,000 hours of footage that we tried to keep you from seeing does nothing but further reinforce the accuracy and truth of our narrative. In much of the same way you can trust our accuracy when we tell you that men can get pregnant. But for the few dangerous extremists who raise their eyebrows in suspicion after seeing this footage, there's a simple explanation. This 40,000 hours of footage is completely missing the context of having 39,999 hours of it hidden from you by us. So it's understandable how you could make inaccurate assumptions based on seeing the truth of what happened. And you probably don't want to do that unless you want your social credit score compromised. Get the message? Don't I usually have papers that I throw? This has been Lies You Can Trust. Keep on believing our imaginary narrative about what happened because it's a lot easier than changing your mind and admitting you were wrong. That's just a pain in the butt, isn't it? Good night. Hey there, my friend. I wanted to let you know before the world ends, I'm on my live comedy tour called Stay Free or Laugh Trying. I'm coming to you in Naples, Florida, Oklahoma City, Spokane, Washington, Appleton, Wisconsin, San Antonio, and Austin, Texas. Tickets are always available at awakewithjp.com. Stay free. I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, Real White by Primal Life Organics. Do you want to be an ugly sack of crap your whole life, or do you want white teeth? Well, if you do want to be an ugly sack of crap your whole life, then good, you're already doing it. But if you're like me and you'd rather have white teeth, then Real White is the way to do it. The Real White system for whitening your teeth is super effective, plus it's all natural, which means you get to bypass a lot of the harmful chemicals that are in other teeth whitening systems. How do they do it? Well, I'm glad you asked. Real White does it by using an LED light mouthpiece to whiten your teeth, as well as a food-grade teeth whitening gel to do the job even better. No longer do you have to choose between off-colored teeth and chemically ridden toxic systems. Real White gives you a better option. I couldn't love this system more. I've been using it for well over 2 years in just 15 minutes a day, 3 days a week, and my teeth are noticeably more white. If you would like to treat yourself to whiter teeth quickly and easily, then check out Real White by Primal Life Organics, only at naturalteethwhiteners.com/JP. And here's a really cool part. At that link, you get a full 60% off the whole system. Again, that's naturalteethwhiteners.com/JP. Enjoy.